We are live. I believe we're live. Make sure everything looks good on my end. Let me know in the comments or the live chat if I sound slash look good on the video. I would appreciate that. Um, I have lots to talk about today. I'm very excited about this live stream actually. But yeah, I hope everybody is having a fantastic Sunday, I guess afternoon now. At least in where I'm living is Sunday afternoon. So, or early Monday morning for some of my overseas viewers. But yeah, welcome to another live stream. And yeah, I'm just going to dive into everything that I watched over the last 2 weeks. Last week I did not do a live stream, mainly because it was yeah, it was Mother's Day last week, and so it just has some things going on, and so I wasn't able to jump on here. And I figured you guys would also have things going on, so I figured just push it off one more week, and yeah, so we're just going to jump into everything that I watched. I'm very excited about one thing in particular that I watched. But first, I see a comment already. I just watched Slumber Party Massacre. My TV is a 32-inch DVD, is from 2000, but I expected it to fill the screen. Still a good campy B movie. Watch. Yes, I've actually not seen Slumber Party Massacre. I've actually never seen any of those like massacre films, so I'll have to check those out eventually. But um, yeah, let's see. Hello, JD. Welcome to the live stream. Um, yeah, let me know too if you can hear the AC or the air conditioning on because it's currently running. The air conditioning unit or the furnace is kind of like behind me, behind this wall. So I don't know if it's too loud or not, or if you can hear it. But let's see. Good evening, Kyle. Good evening. Welcome to the live stream. So um, yeah, it's in Ohio at least. It was like 85 degrees today, so it's a little warm. I don't hear anything. Cool, cool. So I cannot that helps me so I don't sweat to death in here. But thankfully since I am in the basement, everything does stay cool, which is fantastic. But um so like I said, I didn't do a live stream last week. And so I'm going to go over everything that I watched over the last 2 weeks. Um, and so let's see. The first thing, this was on the 5th of the month. So I think that was last Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. But the 5th of May, I decided to dive into the first part of the Andrzej Zulawski box set put out by Eureka Films or Eureka Entertainment. And in here, um, the biggest reason why I got this box set was for On the Silver Globe, which, if you are regular here, you would know by now that I watched On the Silver Globe, you know, about a month ago or so now, I would say, and it was fantastic. But he's becoming one of my favorite directors, and he's a very, very fascinating guy that's honestly had kind of a tragic life. I feel like just reading up on him and just how he so many bad things happened to him throughout life, and it was really like tragic. A lot of tragic things happened to him, but he has made he's since passed away now, but he has made some very fantastic films. And so I decided to start my week off with the third part of The Night, which is his first feature film that he made. And I believe this was one of the first times you can actually physically get the movie on a disc. I could be mistaken in that, but this is a Region B Blu-ray because Eureka is a English or a company based out of England, and so um, I I finally got a Region B or a region free Blu-ray player, and I'm able to actually watch these, which is fantastic. But I watched the third part of The Night, and it was interesting. His like style it's very unique, and I love it. And I'm just very, very happy that I'm happy that I'm able to actually watch some of these films because they are honestly nothing that I've seen before, and it's fantastic. Um, but after I watched the third part of The Night, I think it was that very day, or is the next day. Um, I watched, let's see. Okay. I watched me and my wife sat down and watched the film of Koaniskatsi. I think that's how you say it, which is from this box set put out by Criterion. This is a rewatch for me. I've seen this film before, but I wanted to watch it again because I watched the film Awaken, which was put out by Vinegar Syndrome, and it was a very beautiful film, and it's very similar in like style to Koaniskatsi, where it's a lot of time lapses and a lot of beautiful shots. I mean, it was produced by the same director as this film, so it was a very I don't know. I wanted to show her this movie, and so we're gonna eventually get to watching Awaken as well. So that was a fun one to revisit. But let's see, I've had a few comments pop up. His possession film is, or his film Possession is a great film. Yes, yes, I will get to that in a second. A weird fact: on my PS4, I use it as my DVD player, and you can watch a UK disc, um, and change the region code for the movie, but you can only do it 5 times. I don't know. It's weird and interesting, though, or interesting thought I'd share. Yeah, that is interesting. I've never heard about that for a PS4 to like change the region code. Um, yeah, I had to go and I found a Panasonic, some of the older Panasonic Blu-ray players. You can basically like, yeah, for me, I have to put the disc in, and then when it pops up that's like, this is not a region A disc, I have to hit, was it stop? I think it's like stop the number one and then play or something, or stop number one, okay. Yeah, that's a pattern. I have to hit stop number one, okay. Like, and whatever reason that works. So it kind of like, I guess it's a way around the region locking. But yeah, I've never heard about the PS4. That's very interesting. Um, let's see. You got It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and Ted Kyle. I do not have actually either of those. I owned Ted a while ago, but it wasn't. I didn't like love the movie, and so when I was decluttering, it was one of those that I have it on like a digital library. So I figured, like if I ever really want to watch it again, I have the digital, version of it. And I know I'm all about physical media, but at the time, I would have rather had the shelf space for something else. And so, yeah, I don't have Ted, and I don't have Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, which is one that I wouldn't mind actually owning. I need to get more Charlie Brown in my collection because I remember watching a lot of those growing up. Um, like you can change it on any of the region codes, but only 5 times. So yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's very strange that it was only like a 5 time thing, um, but yeah. So the next movie that I watched um is to continue on with the Ali or this box set by Zulawski. Uh, I decided to watch his second film, which is The Devil, which is set in um, when was it? 17th century, I believe. Yeah, that's also a very fascinating film, and it's very interesting to see his style um like change over like his different films, especially just in between his first and second movie. But I have most of his movies. I'm just missing like I think 4 or 5 of them. But I have some of the more rare ones in my collection, and so it's been interesting to actually watch more of this director's films and just get a feeling for how he's changed as a director, because I know he was basically blacklisted out of Poland. He moved to Italy or France, I think Italy, um, and he made a few films there, and then he moved back to Poland, and it's just like his life just seemed like there was always like he was kind of being bounced back and forth. Like a lot of people were misunderstanding his films, and he was just, I feel like he was a misunderstood director, and it is kind of like sad because I am very curious if we had him coming out with movies today, like how people would react. But yeah, that finished off watching this whole box set, which I'm very glad that I own. It's just a very solid set that I'm happy to have in my collection. So On the 8th of the month, I decided to dive into the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee. This is a box set put out by Severin Films. As some of you guys may know, I am a big fan of Severin. It's out of all the different boutique labels, I would say Severin is probably the only other label besides Criterion that I would be, interested in collecting everything that they put out. I feel like they put out a lot of weird, fascinating stuff, a lot of stuff that may have only gotten like a physical release through Severin ever. And so I decided to dive into this. This is six films in here. Or I should say five films in one season of a show. But yeah, it's a very great set. So the first one that I watched, which let's see, you open this up. The first one that I guess this is listening to the Severin Films podcast. This is the movie that kind of they were just going to release this individually, but then this kind of turned into the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee, and that is Castle of the Living Dead. Um, yeah, this is there's some very fascinating things with this film. It's black and white from 1964, and it's very it's kind of fun to see Christopher Lee so young in a film. And like a lot of horror fans will say that Christopher Lee, like they've seen everything that he's in or whatever. Like I personally have not watched a ton of Christopher Lee films. I know he did a lot of stuff with like the Hammer horror stuff like that, which is a whole like subgenre of horror that I am not super familiar with, and so I'm slowly getting there. But it was fun seeing him in this film. But let's see. Next up, I watched, which is this is a Italian film, and that is Challenge the Devil. This is part of that Christopher Lee set. Christopher Lee only pops up like for a very short amount of time. I believe he was filming something else at the time, and so they basically just had him come in on like for one day for this film. Um, and this is a very strange, very strange movie. I guess this is the first time that this has ever been like um, on a physical disc, and so or like a physical media release, and so it's a very ultra rare movie, and it's like it's kind of like a wild. I feel like there's like nothing happens, but also things happen in it. It's a very strange movie. It's probably not for everyone, but I enjoyed it. It was it was fun. And then on the 11th of the month, I decided to go out and watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, I'm not a huge diehard Planet of the Apes fan. I went to the theater with my wife and her parents, and we just had a great time. There was a at the theater they instead of getting a popcorn, they had like a the what's it called? Um, it was like a cookie cake thing at the theater, which was delicious. It was the same price as a small popcorn. I think it was like $6 or whatever, but it was so good. And I was like, more theaters should do this. It was like a kind of like a smaller theater here in the Akron, northeastern Ohio area, but it was delicious. It was fantastic. But overall, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I thought it was fun. I don't really think it was like a necessary film. It was a beautiful looking film. I don't think it was like the greatest Planet of the Apes film. It definitely felt like the beginning movie of a series, which I found interesting. So, yeah, but let me get to some of these comments. Sorry, I've been neglecting that. Um, let's see. Have you watched any of the horror DVDs that you were trying to declutter? So yes, actually, I that whole pile on I think in my on Instagram, I posted a photo of all the horror DVDs. I'd say most of those I have put in the player and just kind of skipped through or watched the trailer for. And I would say most of those movies, if not, I mean, there was like a handful that I put back on the shelf after watching the trailer or reading reviews or even hearing feedback from you guys. But most of those are all going. I have a box on the other side of the room of just stuff that I just don't feel like it's adding a whole lot of value to my collection. And so, uh, yeah, I'm excited to get rid of stuff because it's like, I don't know, it's like I don't have that much space down here, and so I mean I have a decent amount of space, but um, I have like a limited amount of space, and so uh, yeah, I'm excited to get rid of them and maybe take that to get some money. It's not going to be a whole lot, but use that money towards something that I actually want, like Criterion or Vinegar Syndrome. I think there's a Vinegar Syndrome sale coming up, and so I don't know. We'll see, but um, PS4 DVD player on the PS4. Let's see. You saw Boot Hill, Kyle. I have not. I've not heard of that either. Do you like Halloween 6 and do you have the producer's cuts? So I like Halloween 6. It's not my favorite. And I think the closest, which I believe this actually has, so I have the Halloween box set here. I don't have it on 4K. I have Halloween 1 through 5 on 4K, but I believe this has the producer's cut, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Yes, it does have the producer's cut. I don't think I've actually sat down and watched the producer's cut, which maybe I did. I do not remember now if I've seen the producer's cut, but um, yeah, maybe I should give that another try. It's been a long time, I feel like, since I've seen it. Um, but let's see. How are you doing today, Kyle? I'm doing good. I feel like, let's see, I was able to run some errands earlier today, and so yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Let's see, what is your favorite Halloween movie? Probably have to say the original. I feel like it's the one I've seen the most, and it's just so simple. But I also really like Halloween 2 for some reason. I don't know why. Just it's fun to me. But then there's also a spot of me that I really like Halloween 3 because it's just something different. But let's see. Curious, do you own Hitchcock's Spellbound on Blu-ray? I I don't think I do. I think the only copy I have, maybe, hmm, I might. I feel like I might actually. Because it's over in my director's section because I have all the Alfred Hitchcock movies together. But I also have the Criterion of Spellbound, which is out of print, and I believe I might have this on Blu-ray if I'm not mistaken. So, um, but I remember really liking Spellbound when I first watched it. It's been a few years since I've seen it, but random question: do you collect any Funko Pops? No, I do not. I had a friend who was really into the Funko Pop thing, and I personally never liked the design of a Funko Pop. I just feel like it was lacking detail, which I know is kind of like the whole thing of them. I like the I like collecting like the NECA figures put out by the company NECA. Um, that I have like a few of those. So I have like a Jason, Michael Myers, a Freddy Krueger, a couple of the Xenomorphs, and a couple of the like the Predators, and I think I have King Kong as well, and the Mummy, and I feel like I'm one, at least one other one. But um, yeah, I like the detail on like the NECA figures. I just feel like they're just I don't know, they're fun. And I don't like get super into figures though because it's just not my I don't know. It's not like my go-to. I just like having a few just for display reasons. But yeah, the Funko Pops, I never. That's not my thing. I feel like I owned like one at one point. I ended up selling it because it just I think it was like a stormtrooper or something. But um, yeah, it's not my thing. But thoughts on the big Jason universe thing they're doing with him? Big Jason universe thing. I don't know what you're talking about with that. I'm sorry. The big Jason universe thing. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to with the Jason thing, but um, yeah. So and then I watched the film. I was in the mood for just watching some like dumb horror film, and so I decided to watch the movie. Ants. I bought this from the Retro Attic not too long ago. Um, and this movie was cheesy. It was so cheesy, but it was also a lot of fun. I feel like it was like, I mean, it was about killer ants. I mean, these people get trapped in a building because of ants, and I feel like it is like a I don't know. I feel like the whole movie I'm thinking like just walk over them, run across them, just get past them. They're ants. They're not gonna chase you. Which they're trying really hard to make it a scary film, but it wasn't. But I mean, it was still a fun time. I mean, if you enjoy just like almost like creature feature type of horror, I would recommend this. It's not too scary. It's just not too gory. I don't think there was any gore. It almost felt like it was like a made for TV movie because I don't think there was any like language even in it. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a pretty safe film. But um, let's see. What is your favorite holiday movie, Kyle? Ooh, that is a great question. Um, so as far as like Christmas movies, I really like It's a Wonderful Life. Um, and I I like trying to think of the other ones. I mean, like I like Christmas Vacation. I like How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Uh, but yeah, I'm not like a huge Christmas movie person. Um, but I'd say if I had to pick one, it'd probably be It's a Wonderful Life. I feel like that movie is just it's a solid story. Um, but in your opinion, what boutique has the best service? Um, hmm. In terms of, I mean, like, I feel like I'm obligated to say, also Die Hard, I should say too, for holiday films. As much as people say that Die Hard's not a Christmas movie, I mean, it takes place on Christmas Eve, has Christmas spirit, there's Christmas references. Um, I don't know. I'm going to consider it to be a holiday movie. So, um, but as far as like, I feel like I'm obligated to say like Criterion. I do think that they provide. I mean, they were one of like the originals, I'd say. I know not the original, but up there. I mean, they started on Laserdisc, so um, I mean, I love Criterion. I love what they put out. I would say like it really comes down to what your personal preferences are when it comes to like what you're looking for within movies, to like determine which has the best service. Because if you just are looking for like just fun like horror stuff, I would say like maybe not so like not well known horror, like Vinegar Syndrome. I mean, they put out some really quality releases, um, but also Scream Factory puts out a lot of the big horror films that were popular like in the 80s and 90s, and even they keep putting out just great stuff and some fantastic box sets. I mean, a lot of people like Arrow Video. Customer service wise, I would say, um, I mean, Vinegar Syndrome is like on top of customer service. I will give them that. I mean, they are, you know, every time if you have an issue with it, it's like they will answer you and it's like they'll get it solved. Um, the same thing goes with Severin. I feel like Severin's customer service is just fantastic. Like it takes like a day for them to get back to you. Um, and yeah, I feel like, I mean, along with Criterion, I feel like their customer service is pretty well as well, or pretty good as well. But yeah, I would say probably if I had to pick one, I would say like Criterion. That would probably be my one that I would recommend most to people because I feel like it like offers the most variety. I mean, there's every genre under the sun within the Criterion collection, and it's a lot of foreign films too. So you get a lot of like variety of things. So it's not just horror. It's not, you know, I don't know what else, what other big it's not just foreign films. It's like you're just getting like a lot of different things. So um let's see. They're having a big Jason Voorhees universe thing, doing everything like merch, video game, etc. Everything but a movie, and the original characters are going to run it all gonna. connect, I think, because I think the New Line still, I think New Line still owns something with the movies, so they can't make money yet. Interesting. Yeah, I've not heard anything on that. That's fascinating. I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised that they have not made another Friday the 13th movie in all of this time. I think the last one that came out was in 2012, and I mean, it's over a decade ago, and it's like you would think by now they would have decided to make something, or at least like a TV show, or you know, I know it didn't do super well, but I mean, there's such a strong fan base for those that franchise that you would think by now they would decide to just try something. I'm sure it's tied up with rights and stuff, but um, yeah. My favorite holiday movie is Monster High Friday Night or Friday Night Frights. Wait, okay. Monster High Friday Night Frights. Okay, gotcha. Um, yes, and then moving on from Ants. Okay, so this is the movie that I've been wanting to talk about this whole time. That I am very excited to actually, um, get to. But let's see, I'll get to the comment first from Diane. How is your decluttering going so far? It's actually going fantastic. I have a whole pile of movies on the other side of the room that are split up into like star ratings from from Letterboxd of like what out of 5 stars it is, and so I've just been kind of going pile by pile and progressively, supposedly getting um bye JT. Thanks for stopping in. But progressively getting like better and better like quality. And so yeah, it's going pretty well. I mean, I have a whole. I mean, if you follow me over on Instagram, I just posted that whole photo or like a whole set of photos of just stuff I'm getting rid of or potentially getting rid of. And so it's just like a lot of stuff, and it feels nice just to like know that I actually am getting rid of stuff. This isn't the first time I've decluttered the movie room. I mean, I've done this a few times now, but it does just like it's nice just to get rid of stuff that I know I'm not going to watch or I'm not going to care. Like I don't really care about. Even if that means trading in 100 DVDs to get one nice 4K, like a nice Synapse or a nice Vinegar Syndrome or whatever. 4K. I feel like it's definitely worth because it's also time. Like I don't want to spend all my time just watching these mediocre like movies just to decide if I'm going to keep them or not. And so that's why I'm kind of skipping through them just to kind of get a feeling for the movie. But which is I know isn't fair to the movie, but um, yeah, I only have so much time to do this. But um, let me get a sip of my water quickly. Okay, so the movie that I've been wanting to talk about this whole time, that I'm very excited to actually talk about. So this is a movie that I know a few live streams ago, somebody asked what is on my list. What is, what is on my like wish list for movies, and this is was actually at the very very top of my list. And so I am very excited to actually say that I first own this, but I've also seen it now. Um, and let's see if I can show this on YouTube. Um, and that is the film Possession. Um, I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'll get in trouble with YouTube with that, but Possession. This is 1981, I believe. This is put out by the same director as those other two films I was talking about, Andrei Zulawski. Uh, and this is the limited collector's edition of the film. So this is put out by Umbrella Entertainment. This is number 0195, so number 195 of 1500. So they are numbered. They're like the limited collector's edition. It's actually out of print now. As I was able to get this off of eBay at a pretty good price, and so um, yeah, this movie, I am so excited to actually finally own this movie in my collection. You can kind of see in there, it's like you have the 4K, you have it's called some postcards and this like really nice thick booklet. Um, and so this is actually the 4K with the Blu-ray. It is a Region B Blu-ray disc, so you have to use my Region Free player, but the 4K is completely region free, all 4K. So you can buy a 4K from anywhere in the world and play it on your player, which honestly surprised that they, didn't do that with Blu-ray, but they did away with the whole region locking nonsense. Um, excuse me. So this is just like it's let's see, a 120 hardback or a hardback book. Um, there's postcards, there's lobby cards. Um, yeah, it's just a fantastic release that I am so grateful to have this in my collection. And I watched this on the 14th of the month. So a few days ago, I watched this for the first time, and this movie kind of blew me away. It is a very fascinating film. Um, it's definitely not for everyone. If you're not into horror, I would probably not recommend this. It is in English, surprisingly. I think it's his only English speaking film, as far as I know. And it just felt like it's fun because you can kind of see his style from his earlier works developing into what this film was. I would say this is probably his biggest movie that he did, or maybe not his biggest, but his most like well-known film. Um, and so this has been on my bucket list to watch for a very, very long time. And I feel like this is one that will definitely benefit from multiple viewings. And so, yeah, I am very excited to finally add this to my collection. It's a very fascinating film, and if you are curious, I'd say I don't know, look up trailers because it's a very interesting film. So, but let's see, what are your thoughts on the Cult of Chucky, and what are your favorites and least favorite Chucky movies? So it's been a very long time since I've seen any Chucky film. I'd say my least favorites out of all of them would probably have to be like the soft remake reboot thing. The Child's Play, I think it was called Child's Play, right? Um, yeah, the remake of Child's Play. I feel like it didn't hold the same like I don't know, like it didn't have as much fun with it as the original series. Um, but as far as I remember, I liked Cult of Chucky. I might have to rewatch. I wouldn't mind doing like a whole marathon of watching all the Chucky films because I feel like it's been a very long time since I've seen really any of them. And I do actually want to watch the TV show. I know Red Letter Media put out a video recently briefly talking about the Chucky films, and so I wouldn't mind sitting down and rewatching or they're talking about the show, but I wouldn't mind actually sitting down and watching the show. But and then after Possession, I watched the film again from the Christopher Lee box set, Crypt of the Vampire. This is also a very interesting film. This is a black and white 1964 film with Christopher Lee, and yeah, it was a fun one. I feel like I don't remember it too well. I feel like it was just kind of um, yeah, I feel like it was okay. It wasn't my favorite out of the series. Um, but speaking of not favorite out of the series, this is probably my least favorite out of this whole box set of the Euro Crypt of Christopher Lee, and that was Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace. So I'm not like a huge Sherlock Holmes fan to begin with. It's just not, he's never been like a character that I've taken a lot of interest in. Maybe that's on me for not like watching some of like the classics, but overall, it's just not very interesting. I mean, I think it's Guy Ritchie that directed the Robert Downey Jr. ones, but I've seen those, and I might have seen another one, but this is the one and only time Christopher Lee ever played the character of Sherlock Holmes, and so um, yeah, it was an interesting movie, but again, not my favorite. Um, and then I decided to watch a Criterion film. So actually, I watched this last night, and that is the film Mama Roma. I should say I finished this last night, but um, this is a film by Piero Pasolini, which you can kind of see over here, maybe right there. Yeah, I have the Pasolini 101 box set, which is 9 films by Pasolini, put out by Criterion on Blu-ray, and so within that, this is the this is included in that set. But I have the out of print DVD as well. Um, and yeah, I this was actually a really movie ends really sad, I would say. If you are curious, if you like Italian black and white films, um, especially if you like Pasolini, I would recommend checking this out. I feel like it was a pretty solid film. Let's see. Did you see the Robert Englund Phantom of the Opera? It's a weird take, but his or assuming his face is burnt and just look like Freddy a lot in the movie. So I have not seen that one or that version, but I do own the VHS copy of it, but I've not had a chance to sit down and watch this. Um, and yeah, I can already see it like on the cover. Um, but yeah, again, like Phantom of the Opera, like the story isn't something that I also gravitate towards that much either. So I've seen like the classic one that like everyone has seen the musical one. I've seen the Universal Monsters version of it. I've seen the original original. I believe that's from um, like this one. I don't even know what the year this was. 19 1925. Yes, I've seen the 1925 one. Um, and let's see, I feel like I've not seen the Argento one. But yeah, there's been a few that I feel like I've seen a decent amount of Phantom of the Operas, but um, not my like favorite story just in general. But the 2004 Phantom of the Opera is such an amazing movie. It's weirdly, or I'm weirdly obsessed with it. Yes, I'm gonna have to look that up. I feel like is that might be the same one. Um, yeah, it's not a horror film, I know. That might be the one I'm thinking of, but um, and then I watched the film. Let's see if I can show this. This is a movie that definitely sounds way worse than it actually is. This is the last movie within the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee. Sorry, um, and that is the film. Let's see, I'm gonna try show the cover, but the Torture Chamber of Doctor Sadism. So this is a movie that honestly I was expecting a lot more, like a lot, like I should say I was expecting something different from it. It's definitely it implies a lot more than what is actually shown. I forget what year this is even. 1967. And just a very interesting film. Very like elaborate sets. I was very shocked at like how detailed the sets felt. Um, but I was out of this entire box set. I would say honestly that was probably my favorite of those movies. Um, but there is one more piece to this set that I have not watched, which I'm planning on watching this week, and that is this season of a show. So this is 610 minutes long, which is going to be fun. I think there's 24 episodes, and one of the directors, I guess one of the directors of, there's multiple directors on this, but Zulawski actually directed a couple episodes of the show. So I'm very curious on those. Um, and so I'm very excited to check this show out because apparently this aired and it was um, never seen again. So it's one of those like it's a Polish anthology series hosted by Christopher Lee. Um, very curious on this, so that is going to be part of this week's viewing. But that is everything that I watched. Sorry that took so long to get through, but that pushes me to 170 movies so far this year. And so I feel like I'm right on track with the amount of movies that I'm watching. And I mean, my goal is 365. And so I'm very excited because, um, I don't know, I feel like I have so many other ones that it's like I'm planned for. Um, but let's see. It's Grant Butler and Patrick Wilson from The Conjuring uh, is in it for or in it too for Phantom of the Opera 2004. Okay, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me just grab that. Okay, I'm assuming you're talking about this one. Like, I'm 90%. I mean, this says 2004 on it, so um, yeah, it's been a very long time since I've seen this. Um, but yeah, so I'll have to. I believe I might be getting rid of this DVD because I own this on HD DVD. Yes, that's it. Okay. Yeah, it's been a very long time since I've seen this, but I remember liking it when I did watch it. Um, another thing that I've been going through with my decluttering is like if I own it on a higher format, get rid of the lower format, except when it comes to horror VHS or some laser, which I haven't done laser discs yet. I haven't curated those, which I do want to go through because there are a few in there, not a ton, but there's a few that I want to mind getting rid of, and but like I have movies on HD DVD, but then I also own the regular DVD, and I don't know why. I figured like if I am gonna watch the movie, I have an HD DVD player. It works fine. I'm just gonna probably watch the HD DVD instead of the DVD. Um, so I don't know. I have to. I've been working through that, but the reason why I bring that up is I own Phantom of the Opera on HD DVD as well, and so I'll probably be getting rid of the just the regular DVD copy because I feel like it's pointless having two copies. Um, let's see. Was Ants so bad, or it was actually a fun movie? Yeah. I mean, it's like it felt like there was definitely I mean, the whole movie, I was just like, "Just walk over them. They're not like they're ants." Like, it's I mean, they tried so hard to make them scary, and I get it, like, you can only do so much with, if you're trying to go with, like, a monster movie type of thing, but it was also fun. I mean, I had fun with it. I feel like, yeah, I feel like with a group of people watching the movie, I feel like it would be a fun time. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like so bad it's good necessarily. Like it's not in the same realm of like Birdemic or The Room or something like that, but it was still like a fun like horror fight. Like it's horror film, very loosely use the word horror, but um, yeah, overall I liked it. I don't see myself watching it again anytime soon necessarily, but I mean I had fun with it. Um, so also something else that I wanted to briefly mention on this live stream. Um, if you are a regular on here, you would have known a few weeks ago I ended a live stream early because there was the stray cat that came around again. Um, and so some of you guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, quickly catch you up. But there's been a stray cat coming around my house for the last few weeks, and we've left food out for him, and he, seems to be coming by regularly. And so he, like the other, it was actually this last week, he let me get close enough to him that I was able to pick him up. Um, and so basically, because I wanted to pick him up, see if he's hurt, see if he has a collar, see if he has like the microchip in him or whatever. And so I picked him up, and we were able to take him to a vet and see if he has the microchip. No microchip. He's not fixed or anything. So I'm like, okay, so he is a stray. He seems fine, healthy, like, um, and so now I have some battle scars from picking him up, but that is okay. So potentially we may be having another cat. So Hazel might have a friend. So just adding to the Kyle's movie collection family of cats now. So he'll appear at some point on these videos, but I just figured I'd mention that in here because I know some of you guys, you know, wanted, what or like hoping that I would have a cat next week, and so I do. So that's just a fun side thing. Has nothing to do with movies. I just figured I'd say that. But You should definitely do a list of movies so bad that are good. So actually, I do have a small section in my movie room. I want to do a video on it where it's like my so bad they're good movies. Now the thing is, like, um, I haven't seen all of them, so I need to like watch a lot of them. But there's movies in there like the Emoji Movie, or let's see, the like the Fantastic Four movie that came out not too long ago, or Battlefield Earth, or I'm just looking now at what I have. Epic movie, or just like some other random things that like you wouldn't even like, I don't even know what they are. Um, like, you know, Croczilla, which is like a crocodile and Godzilla mixed, or just stupid stuff like that. But I have a small section of that, which I should do a video on at some point in the future. But um, let's see. You're a good guy for taking him, Kyle. I respect it. I love cats. We need more people like that, and it'd be awesome if you add him to the family. Thanks. Yeah, I love cats. I grew up with one cat when I was younger, and he like lived a pretty long time, but unfortunately he passed away when I was in high school, and yeah, it was just a like it was just such a sad thing. I hate like losing animals, but um, I told myself um when I would, get older, I'm gonna, care about animals. And so we have Hazel, but now we have this other one, which I will, maybe I'll post a photo of him on my Instagram story. So, um, but yeah, he's a pretty awesome little guy. But um, I'm definitely checking out Croczilla. Yes, I will actually, let me just grab it quickly. So I got these at like the Dollar Tree. They intrigued me. They look terrible. Just look like the absolute worst thing ever. But let's see, these honestly might have. Okay, so this movie, so I have two different things here. This one includes four bonus movies, and this one includes seven bonus movies. And so you know a movie is good when there are seven bonus movies included in the one movie. These are the movies that, were sitting at like the Walmart $5 bins that nobody actually bought, and so they got passed on to Dollar Tree. Um, but yeah, Croczilla is the name. It's a 36-foot crocodile that lives. Let's see. Yes, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but yeah, that's a Croczilla, and so I've never seen it, but I just like I have stuff like this in my collection. And I know I keep talking about curating and getting rid of the stuff you're not actually going to watch to keep quality, but there does hit a certain point where things are so bad that they're just like a fun time. And so I even have it's Meg a Shark collection, and so that's Meg dash a dash Shark. So Meg a Shark, or they're trying to go after like the Meg and trying to get people to buy their pack of movies. Um, which actually I sat down with a friend and we watched a decent amount of those, which was actually a lot of fun. Um, so it's just, I mean, it's stuff like this, like there's like the stupid movies that are just fun just to watch with friends. And so, yeah, but what Godzilla movies do you own? So I own a actually some like decent amount of Godzilla movies. I first off, while I'm here, I'll show I have the Godzilla, there we go, the Criterion box set. And next to it, I know it's not really Godzilla, but it's like the Gamera box set put out by Arrow Video. Similar, I feel like it's a similar in the same realm of movies. Um, and then trying to think. I own a couple other Godzilla sets. I know I talk about them in my sci-fi video that I made. Um, so if you want to, I don't think I've bought any since that video was made, but if you are curious to go check that video out, I did a whole like my whole sci-fi movie collection, and um, I talk about all the different box sets and stuff that I have. So um, let's see. I think Megan ripped off Child's Play 2019, but what movie do you like more out of the two? So I've not seen Megan. I own it now. I actually was able to find a copy for $1 at the library book sale a few weeks ago, and I've not got a chance to watch it yet. But I'm very curious. I wanted to see it in theaters, but I just didn't get to it. Um, and so I can't say that I have a favorite yet. But yeah, overall, I mean, the thing is that with the Child's Play remake, I felt like it was basically just like it didn't feel like that big of a threat. The original movie made like Chucky feel like a threat, but this other one just didn't feel like that threatening. Um, and so I don't really know why they were trying to like it just felt like a I don't know, malfunction in the software, but like the other one felt more of like, oh, he's possessed by, I don't know, he's possessed by something. So um and I don't know. I feel like it was like there was actual like tension there, but the Child's Play remake just felt like it was just like a bad software update. Um, but let's see. Do you think Joker 2 will be good? Sorry for spam. Oh, you're good, man. Um, I don't know. So like I wasn't a huge fan of Joker, like the first Joker. I think the reasoning is because I feel like they basically just took, King of Comedy and Taxi Driver and just like meshed them into Joker. It's essentially the same premise as both those films, and both of those movies are so much better than the original, like than Joker, in my opinion. And so I just feel like it was okay. I mean, I own the 4K, but like I have really no desire to watch it again anytime soon. It's not something that it's like, oh, I need to go watch this. Or same thing with Joker 2. I just feel like it's okay. I mean, to be fair, I'm not the biggest superhero fan, so it's not like my type of film to begin with. But um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just okay. And so I'm not like gonna rush out to the theaters to go watch Joker 2. I might see it in theaters, probably not, but um, yeah. And do you think Venom 3 will be good? I have low expectations. So I've not seen Venom 1, but then I've seen Venom 2. Um, Venom 2 I thought was fine. Again, the same thing with the like not really caring that much about superhero movies. I feel like um it's not like my type of movie, and so um it was fun. It was a fun like experience in the what's it called, in the theater. But I'll probably won't see, maybe I'll see Venom 3 in the theaters, I don't know. But see, any excuse really to get one of those cookie cake things that I was talking about, because that was delicious. So I guess I'll go to the theater for one of those. um Let's see. I watched Body Double. Have you seen it? Yes, I have. That's the Brian De Palma film, right? Um, I believe Body Double. Body Double. Why does that sound? Yeah, Body Double is the Brian De Palma film with the guy with the telescope. Yes, I've seen it. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember liking it. It wasn't my favorite De Palma film, but I thought it was very fascinating. Um, I own it on Blu-ray, and it's currently sitting with my Brian De Palma movies. Um, and I felt like there was like that whole sequence when he goes into it was like a club of some kind, if I'm not mistaken, and it's like almost a music video thrown in there. It was very like strange, and it felt out of place, but it also worked. And I don't know, it's a very fascinating film, and so I wouldn't mind rewatching it. But as far as I remember, I remember liking it. I mean, definitely, I think Blowout is probably my favorite De Palma film. I feel like it's just one of those movies that I can watch multiple times, and it's just fantastic. But um, yeah. see. Okay, so before I'm probably going to end this fairly soonish, but before I go, I just wanted to you know, ask you guys what are some other like I guess what are some movies that like you're looking forward to in theaters? Because I know there's a lot of things coming out right now, and I feel like my list of things that I wouldn't mind seeing in theaters is actually pretty long, surprisingly long actually. Slash, not just stuff in theaters, but what are some other things that like whether that's like releases or um just other things that you are like excited about when it comes to movies. I feel like there's just like some fun releases coming up too that I'm excited about. But um, I hope you get a chance to see 1981 Bloody Birthday. It's not anything good, but any means, but it's a group. It's a I misread that. It's not anything good by any means, but it's a group of killer kids born during an eclipse. I would recommend it. Bloody Birthday, 1981. Huh. I've not heard of that one actually. Maybe I have. Bloody Birthday. Why does it sound? This kind of sounds familiar. So, um, yeah. Hmm. Okay, so I'm probably going to end this here, unless anybody has anything else to say in comments. Any questions, comments, concerns, opinions about things. Um, I'm always curious on that, but um, yeah, if not, I'll just end this here. So I like honestly, I'm like, this is like my 28th live stream, I think, and I never know how to end these things every single time. It feels like I'm ending like a Zoom call, like, and it's always like, I don't know, especially this is like even worse than a Zoom call because I'm not seeing you guys. I just see your comments, but um, let's see. Have you had a chance to play, or have you had any chance of playing any video games? I have not. Yeah, it really doesn't make sense for me to own all the because like if you've seen my video game video, it doesn't make sense that I own all those video games because I never play video games. Uh, but the thing is, I love the idea of the video. Like the idea of sitting down and playing video games. It's just when I am doing that, I'm thinking of what movies could I be watching, and so it's such a hard thing that I go back and forth with because on one hand I'm like, well, I should be playing these. I spent money on them, but on the other hand, I'm like, I've also spent money on these like movies that I should probably be watching. And so it's a hard thing, but yeah, I've unfortunately not been able to check out any or play any of the video games. But what are your top three Star Wars films? That's a great question. Empire Strikes Back is I mean, that's not only my favorite Star Wars movie, but it's like my favorite film of all time. Followed very closely by the original Star Wars, um, and it's just also just fantastic. But then I'd probably have to say um, Revenge of the Sith. I feel like that movie it came out at the right possible time for me, and it just has stuck with me. I was like maybe middle school when it came out. It was that 2006? So yeah, whenever that was, I can't do the math right now, but yeah, it came out right at the perfect time for me, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, every possible item of food that you could possibly imagine, there was a Star Wars wrapper on. So there was, pop bottles and chip bags and water bottles and candy wrappers and like, there's all the different like paper plates and cups and you know, tablecloths and I don't even know, pretty much anything you could think of, there was a Star Wars version of it. And I think I was middle school. As a middle schooler, I wanted to get it all. Like I'd have my mom cut out the chip bag wrapper of like the Star Wars thing and all that, just all that stuff. And it was all worthless, but it was just like at that time in life, it was just such a impactful film for me. Because it's the only Star Wars movie I saw in theaters of its original releases. Um, and I just loved it. I loved everything about it. And even now, it's still like I can. it's a little cheesy, but I can still like enjoy it. I feel like it's still like a good time. Um, but I mean, Return of the Jedi is also right behind Episode Three because I love the original trilogy. Um, but Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion, is a perfect film. I mean, there's nothing I would change about it. Just absolutely perfect. But um, yeah, so let's see. Are you planning on doing any collaborations with creators? I would like to actually. I have a list on my phone of different YouTubers that I wouldn't mind because let's see, I did like two things kind of so far. Um, I did a live stream with the channel Excelsior Movie Reviews, which was fun, and I did a almost like an interview type of thing with Kevin from the Retro Attic. I did that as a video. Um, and so I would like to do more things like that. There's a few creators out there that I need to reach out to and see if that would be something that they would be interested in as well. And yeah, I won't mention them, so it can be a surprise, I guess, for future videos. But um, yeah, I feel like it would be it's a fun time to like talk to other people, especially doing the similar content as this, where they talk a lot about physical media and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, we'll have to see about that. But um, I got two still in the box figures, one of Anakin and the other of Darth Vader, both official toys in my favorite Star Wars Episode Three. Yes, I remember also like yeah, the action figures of Star Wars was ridiculous. They came out with so many like and Legos. I mean, there's so many Legos that came out, and um, I mean, whoever was in charge of branding for Episode Three, like nailed it. They like everything was Star Wars Episode Three, and it was fantastic. I just loved it. Um, and yeah, I absolutely I miss that like period where it's just like in like Walmart, there wasn't just like a Star Wars section, there was like a Star Wars aisle of just like everything Star Wars. And it was, lightsabers and masks, and they had, or helmets and like figures and toys and Legos and just everything you could imagine. It was fantastic. And so, it's funny because that didn't happen with the newer movies. Like, yeah, there was a lot of promotion material, but not nearly at the same level. Um, so, but anyways, guys, I'm going to end it there. And yeah, because I am losing my voice. I've been talking for an hour straight. But um, as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. This is my favorite, absolute favorite part about this channel is just having a conversation with you guys and just talking movies. It's always fun. Um, So if you are watching this on the playback or the replay thing on YouTube, leave your comments down below for anything that was discussed. I will try to get back to those as soon as I can. Or if you have other questions, feel free to comment those down below. But you can always reach me on Instagram or send me an email, and I will get back to you. So sorry that sounded like a voice memo on my phone, but yeah, so thank you guys again for watching. I hope everybody out there has a great evening. So, see you guys. Thanks for watching.